Hey, welcome back to another video. This is Alexander Investment Insights. Today we're going to go over the majority of the market. We're going to go over S&P 500. We're going to go over Tesla. We're going to go over Amazon and things like Google and Apple and a lot of other stocks like AMD and just see what the market basically done today. So leave a like for this video. We're going to go over a lot of levels, the key resistances. Is the market heading bearish right now? I'm going to give you a good sentiment of what to look for and things like that. So just leave a like and then let's get right to it. So yesterday we had our resistance at 556.60 and I changed these supports today right before the video, but we'll go down to the 5-minute chart and you see that our resistance hit perfectly. It did not want to go past that resistance. SPY kind of nasty today. You see how it went up, boom, came back down right to where it opened up, found support, and it hit our resistance perfectly. Did not want to pass the resistance. That might be a clear indication that we might want to start heading downward, especially in these after hours market. Look how what we did in the after hours. It came down to our support after hours pretty much. So yeah, pretty much going up, hitting our resistance, didn't want to break it, came back down to support, and then broke support after hours on S&P 500. So our resistance of 556.60 is working perfectly. Make sure you have that on your chart because you're going to want to look at the S&P 500 every single day you're on the market. So S&P 500 is actually currently trading at 551.30 right now. If we go to the daily, it's around right where our support is actually. So if this price holds throughout pre-market, we're going to pretty much open right at our support at 550.75, and then that's going to be crucial. If tomorrow, if we open and we go down past the support at 550.75, that means I will get puts to the downside. This is not trading advice. Please do not trade the thing you see in the video. Just a YouTube guy. So this 550.75 level is crucial. We're already down here after market. Remember that. If we open tomorrow and we start heading down and we have a sense of direction to the downside, we do have news 15 minutes after the market opens with flash manufacturing PMI, and then 30 minutes after the market opens with new home sales. So we do have two sets of news, 15 and 30 minutes after the market opens. So you're just gonna maybe wait for those to happen before you get any plays, because that could boost us back up, back to that support, or it could bring us crashing down to where our next support is at 550 or 545.60. And if this support breaks within the next week or this week or next week, that's when I'm truly going to start getting bearish, and then you'll see a lot of these big name stocks, these main option plays, coming down to the downside as well. So that's what I'm looking at. Our resistance hit perfectly. This is still resistance at 556.60. I'm expecting price to open up at our support tomorrow at 550.75, and then we're going to see what it wants to do at that level. It's very crucial that we wait for news to come out 15 minutes after the market opens to see if it wants to break this support down to the downside, sending us down towards 547.80 and 545.60, or if it's going to boost us back up and then we're probably just going to stall out again if the news brings our price level back up to the upside. So very crucial on S&P 500. Watch this every single day they're on the market. Let's go to the Nasdaq. Nasdaq, I still have resistance at 20,000. I have support at 19,470. So just watch that. Nasdaq also pretty stalling out these last 2 days. Hasn't really given us a sense of direction since we've been pulling down right here. So we're just going to want to wait for this sense of direction. We go to the 5-minute chart and see what's happened after hours as well. Well, actually, after hours isn't on here right now, but it's bringing us down. So very crucial on Nasdaq as well. Just watch this support at 19,480, and it'll give us a good sense of what we want to do in the market. Let's go to IWM, the Russell 2000 ETF. We're headed up today. That means a lot of the smaller stocks, 2,000 of the biggest companies, are doing pretty well. The difference between S&P 500 is the 500 biggest companies, and iShares Russell 2000 is the 2,000 biggest companies. So obviously they're going to move a bit different. So I still have resistance here at $224.50. We're going to want to see if that holds. It also kind of held that resistance here at 523.60. So I also have support here at 214.75. We're going to want to see if that holds and see what the IWN does. So QQQ resistance at 486 and support at 473.80. Kind of mimicking what SPY did these last 2 days, right? So we're just going to want to see which way we want to go on QQQ. Let's go to SQQ. This runs the inverse of QQQ and is 3 times leverage. So when we're in the bearish market, this is when SQQ will be going up. And obviously, SQQ has been going up because we look at QQQ, it's been going down. So SQQ 3-time leverage, it hit our support today at 804, and I have resistance at 852. So if this 852 level breaks, that will give me big confirmation that we are going to start heading down on QQ and SPY, because we do have a little bit of a gap here also at 886. So just watch out for that on SQQQ. It'll give you a good sense of direction. If we keep going up on SQQQ, look for downside plays on SPY 500, QQQ, and a lot of these bigger names too. So let's go to Bitcoin. Bitcoin coming back down to our support of 65,100. We're going to want to see if that support, if this is like a normal retracement, hold our support and then shoots us back up to our resistance at 72,100, which we've had for about 4 months now. So just watch out for Bitcoin. Once we break the 72,100 with confidence, that's when we'll start going up, and a lot of the whole crypto market like Solana, Ethereum, Ondo, Pendle will all blast up as well. So that's what I see on Bitcoin as well. So now let's go to the main option plays that we're usually looking for each and every morning. Apple hit our support at 222, did not want to break today, and we still have our resistance at 233. I'm actually going to move this resistance down. I want to see how it reacts to this new resistance at 228.70. So 228.70 is our new resistance on Apple. Since it doesn't look like it's been wanting to break that, this is our new resistance. It might come up, hit that tomorrow, come back down. It just hasn't wanted to break this level yet since we've came down, and it hasn't had any buying pressure to the upside. So just watch this support 222, and then if this breaks, we do have a few more supports, but my next one would be 213. We'll go to Microsoft. Microsoft ending the market today at our resistance at 444. Didn't break it because it ended at our resistance today right here, ended there. So I still have support at 433. So we're just going to want to watch out for what Microsoft does too, and how S&P 500 and Microsoft might be working together along with Apple. Let's go to Google. Google hit our resistance perfectly today, and if we actually look at Google, Google had earnings today after hours and didn't really do that much. It did a bit. We'll go down and see from our resistance to where it currently is trading. It's only down 4%, so not a really big move from this earnings. But let's go to the 1 minute chart and we'll see. Well, it doesn't really let us see, but because of how stark of a movement aftermarket it was, but really just stalled out at our resistance today. Google really wasn't much to do there. I did play it in the morning for a call to the upside. You see that this resistance here broke, and we the intraday high, that resistance that also was our resistance back here, and then we got calls on the upside, and we had 3 minute candles up, and we took profit right here at this take profit level. So that was a nice play on Google. If you want to go look at my trade recaps, the last video that I posted was the Google trade recap from this morning, so make sure you go check that out. But I still have resistance on Google at 183.60 and support now at 176.50. And tomorrow levels video will give you a better sense of resistance and support, since we're gonna gap down since Google's earnings came out. So that's that on Google. Let's go to Meta. Meta also holding our resistance at 489, and we have support here at 460.70. There is another support here on Meta, so I'm actually going to move up this support to 475.70. So that is our new support on Meta. Obviously coming down stark. That's a 15% drop that it had, and it's kind of recovering back to the upside. But since this resistance holding, that is kind of a clear indication that this downside isn't really done yet. If this resistance would have broken to the upside, we could have found a new resistance somewhere up here around 508. That would have been like, okay, like it's recovering pretty nicely, but it's not recovering. It's kind of stalling out once again today, like 4 days in a row. It's just wants to go up, comes right back down to where it started, up, right back down to that support. Did that again, but with resistance today. So 489 resistance on Meta and 475.70 support on Meta. Make sure you have those two levels on your chart. Let's go to Nvidia. Nvidia, I still have resistance at 129 and I have support at 119. Watch these two. Nvidia has kind of not really recovered well to the upside. Remember when we had this Dow movement here? I think that was like a 15% drop. It recovered nicely after that, but since then just another like probably 10% drop to the downside, and we're gonna want to see how it recovers. If it's gonna recover nicely or if it's gonna keep dropping. And there's nothing that really says that Nvidia can't stop dropping for right now, especially if the S&P 500 has retracements down to the downside, because really for three months we've just been going straight up on S&P 500. No really like big pullbacks. Remember we had this pullback here end of March, early throughout the rest of April, this pullback, but since then just 3 months of straight up movement without any pullback. So a pullback could be expected. It would be normal for S&P 500 to have a pullback. Just make sure that you're focusing on price, because that's what's really the tell-all. So Tesla hitting our resistance also perfectly today. If we go to the 5-minute chart, because they had their earnings, boom, they dropped about from where we started today at our resistance to where they're trading at now, about 11%. So that's what Tesla is doing. I still now the support is not going to work. I think it's at, let's actually go back. It's now trading at 227.25, so that actually could go down a little bit more on pre-market tomorrow, but 227.25. Our new support is going to be right here at 219. So my new support is at 219. I know that the drop aftermarket isn't reflected on the daily chart, but it's pretty easy. You just go here, it's at 227.25. So new support at 219, and I will have a new resistance here at 236 or 237. So 237 is our new resistance on Tesla. So just watch out for these two levels. Tomorrow we'll actually get some movements to giving us another clear sense of direction after the earnings. So that's what happened on Meta for earnings. Tesla and Google both, or Tesla and Google both had their earnings today. Let's go to Amazon. Amazon holding our resistance once again, like a lot of these other stocks, holding our resistance, not breaking it at 188.50, and I still have support here at 181.50. So these resistances are breaking to the upside. We're going to want to see how these resistance holds. If these resistance hold and they don't want to break it, then you might want to expect some more downside plays to these supports, along with the whole rest of the market. So Netflix also hitting our resistance perfectly today at 650, 60. You see how price kind of opened up there and then kind of just like used as resistance. Kind of stalled out for the rest of the day, but that's what happened on Netflix, and they had earnings on Thursday. They really didn't do anything on earnings. No gap down, no gap up. Just kind of stalled out. They reflected it. Some stark price movements on Friday, the day after their earnings, but no gap up or no gap down from when it came out. So just keep these two levels, 650.50 and 628 on your chart, and that'll give you a better direction of where we want to go on Netflix. We'll go to AMD. AMD having some stark down movements from where it had its high to where it had its low is 20% down, and since then it hasn't really recovered to the upside. You see, had a nice a green day on Monday. Today had a nice a red day again. It's holding our resistance at 156.70, and we have a support here at 150.50. So there's nothing that says AMD can't come down more to another support at 140. 140 AMD could go to. So just watch this support at 150.50, and that's going to give us a better descent of the market. A lot of people would say, oh, since it has like a big start down movement, it's going to go right back up to the upside. It's not true. They have earnings on July 20th, and we're just going to want to see what AMD does there, especially if Nvidia starts booming down. We might see AMD start booming down off like some sympathy. But that's what I see on AMD. Intel stalled out. I still have resistance at $33.80 and then support at $32.40. Disney heading down again, finding our support at $90.30. Let's see how it reacts off there. See, gap down, held our support. What's going to happen? Is it going to break the support to where we have a new support somewhere around $87.50? Or are we going to hold the support, have earnings, and then gap us back up? We don't know yet. Just gonna want to see for the next few days if they're gonna hold the support and like kind of have a nice up movement before the earnings comes or not. So that's what I see on Disney. Dell also kind of started out between our support at 146.50 and our support resistance at 146.50 and support at 120.70. So just watch out that for Dell. Looks like it kind of wants to keep heading down towards our support. PNW sold out at our resistance of 338. We have support here at 321. You see how it doesn't want to break either of these resistances at 345 or 338. So watch these two resistances. If this resistance keeps holding, we might have some down movement to PNW onto the downside to the support if these resistances do not break. We'll go to Walmart. Walmart at all-time highs here, so I still have support here at $69, and we're going to want to see how price reacts to that. We'll go to Coinbase. Coinbase actually hitting our resistance here at 270 and then coming down. Mostly because Bitcoin has been coming down. See how we had 3 days in a row of Bitcoin coming down. Coinbase is going to eventually have to reflect that. So it hit that resistance. Didn't want to break it at 270. It's coming back down. So we're going to see where we want to find our next support. I do have support here at 243 just in case Bitcoin starts coming down again. Then we'll have a chance to play Coinbase back to the downside. But Bitcoin starts rocking back up to this resistance. You're going to see Coinbase start going to this 300 price target that we have for shares and options and stuff like that. So let's go to ARM Holdings. ARM Holdings, I do have resistance at 177.25 and support at 152.25. We are entering earning seasons within the next week, this week, and the next 2 weeks. So this is earning seasons, couple weeks. Just watch these two support and resistances before the earnings. We could gap up to this resistance right here at 177.25 before the earnings comes around. So that's what I see on ARM. SMCI holding our support at 730, and then we have resistance here at 935.50. I'm actually going to move down resistance here and create a new resistance here around 881. So 881 is our new resistance on SMCI. I'm just going to want to see if this support holds or breaks. Because if this support breaks on SMCI, we could be coming down to lower levels. Definitely around 700. But if that breaks, well, we do have earnings on August 7th. But if this 770 breaks, we could reach 700 before earnings comes around. And that would be a nice scalp to the downside. Which I would be looking for. Let's go to Uber, perhaps. Uber, I have support here at, actually just found support at $65.60, and I am going to have a new resistance at, or I could keep this resistance here at $73.50. So just watch this. Uber has its earnings also on August 6th, so just watch out. This could come back down and hit our support right here before earnings and kind of like stall out at our support right before its earnings, which could either gap us down or stall us out. But that's what I see on Uber as well. I'm just gonna leave the video there because it's already 19 minutes. So once again, watch the S&P 500 tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. The remainder of this week, we want to see how it reacts to this resistance and to this support. Which one is going to break first, right? Which one is going to break first? That's going to give us a better sense of where S&P 500 wants to go and what a lot of these other companies want to go, because as you see, a lot of them have been hanging down, and there is more downside to come. If S&P 500 starts heading bearish, Apple could drop more, Microsoft can drop more, Google can drop more, Nvidia can drop more, Amazon can drop more. So just watch out for that on S&P 500. It's going to give you a lot better sense of what plays we're looking for in the market. And leave a like, follow, subscribe. This is my Instagram channel. I post videos every single day. Fun videos about stock sectors, videos about how to play the stock market, how I play the stock market, tips, strategies, rules, all types of things like that. And of course, I'm going to leave you there with that. Update these levels, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Bye.